while they're setting it up. So the next session we have is open source, open doors, building good engineering teams with open source communities. We have Aparna Prabhu, a senior engineering manager at DigitalOcean. She's managing the platform and storage engineering. She's a passionate manager for innovation, especially green innovation, striving to reduce environmental impact while enhancing business efficiency. She's here with her teammate, Sriram, who's a senior software engineer at DigitalOcean. Sriram is a contributor to Kubernetes project, primarily active in SIG release, SIG note, and SIG contributor experience. He was part of the release team from version 129 to 133. So they are here to talk about the benefits in hiring from open source communities and how it is a win-win for both the companies and those who actively contribute to them. Thank you.
Am I audible? I hope the mic is working. Okay. Hey, everyone. Thank you for gathering today for this talk. I'm Aparna Prabhu, like Anand introduced, and I manage platform and storage engineering teams in DigitalOcean. And today I'm joined by my teammate, Sriram, who's a senior software engineer in the platform engineering team. Coincidentally, Sriram and I met last year at an open source event like this. Does anybody here know what is the significance of June 6th or yesterday in particular? Some people? Yeah, it's Kubernetes birthday. So we met at Kubernetes birthday bash last year, and today we're working as colleagues. So this talk is, it's not very tech heavy, as you can guess from the title. And also our slides, intentionally, we have not kept it like very textual. We want to keep this talk as interactive as possible because, let's face it, it's after lunch. So it's not very easy to stay focused the whole time. So that's about me. I'll let Sriram do his.
Yeah, thanks, Aparna. Hey, everyone. My name is Sriram Venkatesh. I work as a senior software engineer on the storage platforms team, along with Aparna. And I've been contributing to Kubernetes for about 2 years now. I primarily contribute to the kubelet and the kube API server.
So this is a question for all of you. I feel a little bit like I'm preaching to the choir here, coming and asking this question in an open source community event. But you know, just for the sake of understanding how the audience is today, how many of you have contributed to open source in the last 1 year? Like, yeah, I'm expecting quite a few hands to go up for that. Okay, that's good. And the next question is, how many of you were hired or hired someone by open source community? Anybody, any luck? I know. Ryan is my teammate, so obviously his hand will go up. Other than that, anybody else? Anybody got jobs or were able to make successful career connections through open source community? Or on the other side of the table, any hiring managers who made very good hires through open source communities? Not many? Okay, cool. Then you've come to the right place because this talk is exactly about that. So, yeah. We would like to share our perspective. So I'll share my perspective as a hiring manager, and then Sriram will go ahead and share his perspective. Next slide. So a little bit of a rewind, a little bit of a background. So I lead a team of 13 engineers in DigitalOcean, and I have built this team from scratch. That was one of the primary reasons I was hired. So when I was hired, my manager said, go build the Asia platform and storage engineering team. So each and every person in this team was hired by me. Also, I was fortunate enough to get the opportunity to help some of our sister teams in their hiring. So we set up a Hyderabad office last year. And as a result, we had to hire like 35 people to get started. And I had the really good opportunity to have some influence in hiring those 35 people. So during this process, I think easily I have read, I have reviewed, I have perused about 5,000 resumes. Actually, 5,000 is a small number. I mean, it's a pessimistic number. It's actually much more than that, but just for the sake of this discussion, we'll keep it as 5,000. And mind you, this is after all the filtration and all the curation by online tools like Greenhouse and my hiring team and whoever comes before me. And what I see is there is a lot of noise. What do I mean by signal to noise ratio is low? The actual useful information is very less in the majority of profiles that we see today. And when I say I am not just talking about me or my experience, I think I can confidently represent the hiring manager community when I say this. There is page after page of irrelevant and sort of vague information. This makes it very hard for the hiring process to be successful and quick. Traditional hiring processes combined with this traditional resumes often take a really long time. Now again, a question to the audience. I'm sure all of you have been involved in job hunt at some point in your career. How many of you did it take like several days from the time you started interviewing with a company till you got an answer from them, till you got an offer letter from them? For how many of you did it take like several days? Show of hands. Right? So why is that? That is because these traditional processes, it's very difficult to see. You can gauge people technically, but then as a hiring manager, what is it that I'm looking for? I want to know how well this person can thrive in the real world. How well this person can collaborate. How well can this candidate solve real world problems? How well can they deal with open-ended engineering questions? And the answer for that is not very easy to find in traditional processes. The magic of open source is that it seeks to fill this gap. It does successfully fill this gap. Open source is amazing because you can see people working in wild, okay? You can see people doing things out of their own interest because there is no immediate, tangible, financial benefit with open source contributions. Why do people still do it? They do it because they want to get better. They do it for the community. They want to collaborate. You see people writing really cool documentation, writing really nice code, okay, reviewing each other's pull requests, working in distributed teams, often with people they have not even met and probably they might not even meet. So when somebody is doing this, it tells you a lot about their nature, about their character. These are the kind of people that you want in your team, right? I can vouch for this fact because I've been in IT industry for 20 years now, and with all the data points that I have collected over the past 20 years, I can confidently say that some of my best hires, like Sriram and Ryan, have been big-time open source contributors. So I can vouch for this fact. Open source is not just, and when I say open source, I'm not just talking about writing code. It's not just online. It's also offline open source contributions, like this event that we are all gathered at today, okay? So open source is much more than writing code. Open source is community, it's collaboration, it's continuous improvement. And I am a proof, or my experience is proof that open source works. Open source fills that gap. And I am here to advocate for it. I am here to urge hiring managers. Sriram will talk about the other side of the table, which is job hunters. But I'm here to urge hiring managers to give weightage to people who are active open source contributors, because I believe that is how great engineering teams are built. What do you say?
Yeah, thanks, Aparna. So now what we're going to do is flip the coin and take a look at this from the other side. As a open source contributor, like what can you do to improve your chances of getting your dream job? So finding jobs in today's market is hard. As you probably would have seen in the job board, there are more people who are looking for jobs than there are jobs, even in our job board. So that is the case like globally as well. So there are a lot of things that you can do to make yourself stand out of the crowd and improve your chances to get your dream job. And I would argue that open source is one of the most effective and one of the most easiest to get started with. Like one of the ways in which you can make your profile stand out, and I would say that open source is one of the easiest ways to get started in doing. So open source contributions can be your portfolio to build trust. Like Aparna mentioned, when hiring managers are getting like thousands and thousands of resumes, a single open source contribution that you made can make your profile stand out and give the hiring managers like enough information to like make them trust you that you'll be good at the job. So if you're someone who are looking for a job today, just you being here today at this event would count as part of your job hunt, because folks that you meet today at this event might be the people who you'll be working with like maybe like a couple of months down the line. That was certainly the case for me and Aparna, because as Aparna mentioned earlier, we met for the first time exactly 1 year ago today, and yeah, it has been a wild ride. We never expected that we will be like sharing a stage here today 1 year later. So yeah, so what you can do as an open source contributor is to, apart from the contributions that you're doing, you can help other contributors and other like members of the community. You can help folks to help you by being intentional and reaching out to folks in such events. So if you have not thought about it this way, you should all pat yourself on the back for even being here and coming out here on a Saturday when you could have done something. Before I hand over the mic back to Aparna, I wanted to quickly share a few resources that can help you with your job hunt. So CNCF recently started a job board called Git Jobs, and for each job posting that they have a breakdown of how much time you're expected to work on open source projects as well as upstream projects. So how much time you'll be contributing to open source code and how much time you'll be contributing to upstream. This is interesting because this is the only job board where you have this information, and this just shows that all the folks who are posting their job openings here are like serious and they mean what they're saying, because they intentionally want to hire folks who are open source contributors and maintainers. There are also Slack channels in both the Kubernetes and CNCF Slack workspaces for finding jobs, and these function similar to how we have the job board outside. People post job openings from their companies, and people also post candidates who are looking for jobs also post their resumes and their experience. So it goes both ways, and even if you're not looking for a job, you can join these channels to be on top of things.
Thank you, Sriram. So I think some of you may be thinking, what was that for? 7 minutes, okay. Some of you may be thinking, these two are sharing their experiences, okay, fine, but how do I know that this works? How do I know that this is a generalized sentiment? Is there any data-backed studies or any proof from respectable sources that can sort of validate or vet what we are telling today? So there is actually a study by Harvard Business School, continuing what Sriram mentioned. It says that companies that invest in and nurture open source communities and open source contributors see a 100% increase in the productivity. Heard that right? Literally double the productivity is what the companies who invest in open source enjoy. I mean, that is a pretty damning evidence, right? That is a pretty direct connection between open source contribution and productivity. I think that's the proof in the pudding. But I also threw in a couple of graphs, these, sorry, I know the graphs are not funky enough. I just generated them using some, I wanted to try some online Gen AI tools. So without having to register, without having to pay, obviously. So I just, generated these two graphs. The left one is, this is a study by Medium, which says that contributors to open source communities, open source forums, they have a 38% higher chance of landing a job, 38% higher chance of even getting a call. So that underscores the value that companies place on open source contributions. At the same time, the graph on the right, which is a study by Linux Foundation, shows the gaping difference between demand and supply when it comes to hiring open source talent. So 93% of hiring managers struggle to find open source talent. So it's not like people don't know about the value, it's just that people find it hard simply because there aren't so many people contributing to open source communities, or probably they don't know how to portray themselves as open source contributors. So this is a pretty big gap waiting to be filled. So I would encourage everybody here to go back and think about how they can contribute more to open source communities, how they can give back to the community, how they can collaborate, and how they can improve not only themselves, but also the world around them. So I would like to conclude this talk by saying that if you're a hiring manager, there's a good chance that the person that you want to hire could be sitting next to you today. And if you're a job seeker, there's also a pretty good chance that the next chapter of your career could begin with your next PR. Thank you.
Hey folks, we still have like 4 minutes left, so if anybody has any questions, we can take them.
So, could you also give some example, like what other, like people, irrespective to their designation, what all they, like as per your experience, what have they contributed? Let's say something that you have seen from SRE background, or because mostly what I have seen from us, they will expect us to document things, right? So, because again, we have, there is a different expectation from our role. So when we say contribute to the open source, like, is that, it has to do something with the role, or how is it?
I can answer based on what I know, and I can give it to Aparna next. So I would say it does not necessarily have to be related to the job that you're trying to apply for. It definitely helps if it is, but even if it is not, having some contribution is much better than having no contribution at all. So if you have done even something small, folks would know that you are someone who is diligent and who goes out of their way to do stuff. So that speaks a lot about your profile, and that basically confirms that you will do good work. That is what I think about.
And it's also about the kind of companies that you're targeting. So companies also, they try to look for a match. And I think this is a quiet revolution that is probably still in the very beginning stage. So, do what you're passionate about at the end of the day, and find companies where your passion intersects with their area of work. Honestly, even the finding part, I don't think is a big deal because, you know, at the end of the day, if you're doing good job in open source communities, getting your next big career break is only a matter of time. So I would say just keep up the quality, just focus on helping, focus on working with as many distributed people as possible, focus on where your passion lies, focus on improving yourself, and the repercussions will follow. It is bound to follow.
Sure, thanks for that. I just have one question that
Sure.
from where to start? See, as of now today, if I'm joining open source community, so I have some solution where I want to add something which is related to scalability, right? So from where to start, where to add? Because if I just go create my channel and I add something, my document or POC that I've done, that is not going to help. So what is the starting point?
Right. I can probably only speak for Kubernetes because that is the only place where I've contributed the most. So in the case of Kubernetes, they have community meetings which anybody can join, and they're open to the public, and they're also recorded and posted to YouTube, so we can revisit the older meetings. And we can go and present our ideas there, and contributors would be able to help us get onboarded. And there are also meetings like new contributor orientation, which happens once every month. Helps like new contributors, like that is specifically targeted towards folks who are not contributors but want to start contributing. Yeah, there is always a need for more folks who are contributing to open source, so people open to. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Aparna and Sriram, for sharing your experience. I have a question for Aparna. Is DigitalOcean still recruiting?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, it's just that it's slightly different now. So we are, earlier it used to be completely remote, but now we are focused on certain hubs. Currently, Hyderabad is a hub. We are trying to make Bangalore also a hub. But yeah, keep your eyes and ears open. Keep checking our careers page. And feel free to come meet me after this talk to know more about DigitalOcean. Thank you.
So if someone is looking for a job change, you know whom to contact.